Ayo. Or should I say, ayo ho ho. Check it out. It's Nerdcore Dave over at the Nerd Cave at Nerdcore Central. What up, what up? I'm here with Blondecore Juh-9, and she wants to share with you her comic haul from the Minicon.
Yes.
How fun is that? Is that fun?
It's very fun.
We'll talk about our experiences.
Yes.
I know Todd and I talked about ours on his video. And I don't know, you want to do like an impromptu video or interview while we're here?
Sure.
So like, before we get started here, let's not let everybody see what you got.
Okay. I want to
Don't
see.
no spoilers. Spoiler alert.
No spoilers.
Here, we'll stick this. You know where to stick this. Put that there so that, there you can't see.
Can't see. Okay.
All right. So, anyways, let me see. Make sure that you're gonna be able to see me over there because I'm the star of the show. I'm the reason everybody's tuning in. Right? False. Fake news. So, anyways, I guess let's talk about you being a new collector real quick.
Okay.
That's a good one, right?
That's a good one.
So how long? When did you start? When did you buy? Do you remember what you bought your first comic? What did you buy and when did you buy it?
Oh. I think it was Spawn.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Like when?
Well, actually, when was it? When I first went with you guys.
Really?
Yeah.
That was
like
the first time?
Yeah, that was the actual first. Like I had read them like whenever I was younger, I had read them and stuff, but I never.
How did you read them?
They were someone else's. They were my friends had them. I never had any.
Huh.
Yeah. So yeah, like whenever I went with you guys that first time when we went, like that was.
What, like just like in the last 6 months?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Huh. So which Spawn was it? So they're getting ready to go on what, issue 300 or something?
300, yeah.
So it was like a 290 or something?
No, it was one of the.
It's a back issue.
It was a back issue. I honestly don't remember. It might have been 11, 12, because I was looking through the dollar bins. Like I was looking through the dollar boxes, and that's whenever like I was talking to you and saying, that I wanted to maybe collect Spawn. Okay. Because I do like it, even though a lot of people don't. There's some other.
I thought you were buying like just random ones at that point. Like I don't know why.
I think I was. I don't know. Like I think it might have been later that I decided to make it my main, but.
But I thought you were just buying like a random book here and there or something like that. Is what I was under that impression. I don't know. No. Maybe I'm wrong. No. So all right. So then you got the Spawn, and then what happened?
Well, it's like the first time that I actually like. I always did like them, and I thought like the covers, like I told you, the covers were cool and everything.
They are cool covers.
The artwork and everything. But then when I actually like the few that I got, I read a couple of them, and it was almost like instant. I was hooked. Like I wanted to buy more.
Shit's getting weird.
It was. I don't know how to explain it. Like
it's a drug.
It is. It's like it's an addiction. I don't want to say addiction. I don't know if I can.
But it is. I just saw a meme on social media that said, buy your kids comics and teach them to read comics. Then they'll never have money for drugs.
It's true because that's very true because you know what? There's just so many cool, interesting stories, art. I mean, just everything to it. That if anybody just takes the time and just reads one that first time, like I said,
dip their toe in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, you just it's like you just got to take that first little dip, and after that, it's like I was hooked. Like
So then, what did you buy after that? Besides Spawn.
I started looking for Spider-Man.
Okay.
Which I do have quite a few now of Amazing Spider-Man. I do have a couple Superman that and Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Those
actually,
are all pretty easy,
yeah.
user friendly
And-
to get into, I guess. Like, they're
Yes.
well known.
Yes. And it's like whenever we would go to the sales and things, or the stores, like honestly, like I was just learning from you guys, from you, about the key issues and all that kind of stuff. What to look for. But honestly, like if I would be looking through the boxes and through the dollar books, there's just sometimes it catches your eye. You like it and you think, oh well, and you don't know if you're gonna like the store. I'm not.
You're bending it. You almost
okay,
bended it.
I almost bended it. Bent it, but
Don't lean on it either, because
Jesus.
you're gonna put pressure on it. It's gonna cause a spinal
I'm gonna sit
thing.
back here. But no, it's just certain ones that
We'll do that.
I really wasn't. I mean, I had decided on the Spawn, but like as far as anything else, I wasn't really into collecting like one thing or the other. Just like I always did like Spider-Man.
So then you were just buying everything for the covers pretty much at that point.
Pretty much at that point. If I liked the cover, if I thought it was a cool cover, I would buy it.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
And then now you're talking about maybe collecting Guardians in addition to Spawn, huh?
Yes.
So I just saw that they're actually, I was going to tell you, I forgot. I was looking today. They're coming out with that new Guardians #1 they're rebooting, so you might want to get in. It's Donny Cates. It's the guy who writes Venom and all the other stuff, super popular.
Yeah.
So you might want to tell the local comic shop to put that on your pull list. In addition to Spawn, what do you got? Spawn and Venom, right?
Spawn and Venom.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. There's so many different Spider-Man ones that like in order like to collect all of them,
It's intimidating.
Yeah, it is very intimidating. So, but I do like the Guardians, and I found quite a few at the warehouse sale or the basement sale, whatever it was. I found quite a few there. So I do have, I mean, not a lot, but a few issues. But I just was thinking about that the other day, like in addition to. Because I don't know, I'd like to have more than one.
What do you mean?
Like that like as a collection, like like of one that I'm collecting like as a whole, like to complete it.
So then you can collect like all the Guardians, plus you can get like Rocket's first appearance, Groot's first appearance, Star-Lord, stuff like that.
Like stuff like that, yeah. But yeah, I'm thinking I want to collect the Guardians.
So. Okay, so we know you like those books and those characters. What did you learn about collecting as far as taking care of comics, like bagging and boarding and handling them?
Yeah, well, not to do what I was just doing with that book right there.
It's easy. See how easy it is to screw up a comic? Remember what I tell you. You 24 the entire time you're in the presence of a comic, you have to be on guard because anything can happen.
And I was just, I almost made a mess of that one.
You got distracted.
But no, I have learned like the proper way to bag and board them. Like like you showed me to pull the board out just that little bit, and put the comic on there so that you're not getting the edges, so that you're not catching the edges. And to
not jamming it in there, right? Isn't that's important?
Yes.
So that's why we use Silver Age bags, right?
Yeah. And then like as far as taping it on the back, like tape it on the sides, like because sometimes they just tape them in the middle when you pick them up at the shop or whatever, but to tape them on the side so that plastic doesn't come up, and because it might do it might put a crease or something in the comic that's behind, but it'll
like
behind it.
It might not do it today, but if he sits in a box for 20 years, I guarantee. Well, we saw that with the Arkham Knight at the con. Remember?
I didn't even notice that, and they pointed it out, and I didn't even notice.
I didn't notice it either.
It was from the seam on the bag that it was in, and it was just how they were, laying against each other.
Both our issues, we got them in two completely different towns, but both our issues had that crease, and it was because the poly bags, where the seam is on the back of the poly bags, on the front cover. Left a line straight down it was pretty much straight down the middle, right?
Yeah, it was straight down the middle.
So, but they didn't count it against it because theoretically every one of those issues probably has it because of that unless somebody got it pressed. I mean, it would be real easy to get out with a press, but
Well, yeah.
but yeah, so.
But like everything from like you know, how to keep them in the box. You know, I use the egg, like how you told me, use the egg crate or
Don't
some
let them
kind
fall
of box
over.
so they don't fall. You know, keep them. You know, that's something soft on them so that you know doesn't make any marks on that first one. How I pick them up. You know, careful with the spine, things like that. When I'm reading them, very carefully hold them. And, yeah, you know.
Somebody yelled out with Todd today because I found out he laid his flat again from the con. He said, "Oh, I got piles everywhere." I'm like, "Dude, you're not laying them on the piles again." And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, the cat doesn't lay on." I'm like, "Dude, you don't
Oh my
understand.
God.
There's a reason why those boxes want you to have them like this
Yes.
because that spine is so important. So if you're the keeping it vertical keeps the pressure off the spine, keeps everything flat. You know, when you have them all facing the same direction, whatever. But you always want to have it like this, standing up. You don't want to even lay them this way or that way. You don't want to have them on a pile for sure because then the pressure, even just from them laying there like that, and then like he said, like what if his cat does lay on it? You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Or then somebody beeps a horn and a cat like I
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah,
But even just laying on it, it's going to cause it to spinal ticks and everything else.
I'm just like I never well, I didn't think like something that you would not think would even matter, you know, like how they say like the fingerprints, like how you handle it, the thumbprints, fingerprints on it, like it can make like a little, you know, dip or divot in the paper, like in the cover or whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
and not only that, what I said about having clean hands too, right?
Oh yeah.
So you don't want potato chip grease on there because you'll touch it with it, and then you get like a fingerprint on there. But then 20 years later, that grease, causes to eat through the paper and discolor it and whatever else.
Yeah.
And then you have a big fingerprint discoloration, and you got a 8.0 instead of a.
Yeah, and that you don't want.
Nope.
Definitely don't want.
What else did we learn? We got boxes. I know you've been buying boxes.
I've been buying boxes.
You learned about. I know you learned about grading. So what did we learn about that?
I did learn about grading. Well, I was not really aware of the entire grading process, like what they looked for, like or to the extent that they did, like with the pages, the corners, you know, the spine, obviously, you know, and they look for that. The colors of the pages, just everything like that.
Every single thing. It's your archive. It's archived.
Every single thing with any of these books, you know, I was just I don't know what I mean. I honestly didn't know. Like I thought maybe they just looked at it, you know, picked the book up and looked at the corners, you know, the color, the spine kind of thing. I didn't know that like, you know, they checked inside, you know, the colors of the pages to make sure they were white or whatever, you know, that there wasn't any. Well, tears obviously, but yeah, I mean the extent to which they check it and as far as the grading, I had no idea it was like that. I don't want to say intense, but I mean it really is because they check everything. Do
you have anxiety when you read your comics now?
Sometimes, like the ones that I feel are like the higher grade ones, I haven't even read them yet. Like the other ones, like I bag and board them and I put them in the box and like I'll be honest, like those I haven't even read yet. Like the other ones that we got, like when we got them for like the 25 cents, 5 cents, like stuff like that. Like I'll be reading those because even though I mean I'm still careful with them, I know they're not as high a grade as the other ones. So I feel a little more at ease.
As long as you're careful. Yeah, I mean, it depends. There's some stuff out there like super like if you get like a really nice key issue or whatever. I mean, you can always get the True Believers if there's a reprint and read that. You know what I mean, or something like that.
Because they do a lot of the True Believers.
Or if we get like a quarter sale and you can get one for a quarter that's a beat ass old copy for a reading copy and then keep your nice one. You know, there's other options out there, man. Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing. But what about CGC? What do you think of your CGC experience?
I was impressed with it actually.
So we dropped them off in July.
Yeah.
At the end of July.
Yeah.
Or was it the beginning of July? I think it might have been like the first or second day actually in July.
It might have been the beginning of July.
And then we picked up August, September, October is what it was, right? Or end of October.
Yeah.
Maybe it was August. Maybe it was beginning of August we dropped it off.
It might have been because
It wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be.
No, because they actually came back quick.
Yeah.
Quicker than what I had thought they were going to, but I mean, and everything was. It just looked so. And every one that you see that they do, like looks so nice.
Oh yeah.
You know, they put it in that case, and it's like so nice and professionally done, and it just adds that value to the book.
It's nice to have it encapsulated, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Something like, well, anytime you have any book like that you want to get graded or you think you're going to get graded, like. And you're obviously, not all the time, but most of the time you're getting it graded because, you hope that it's worth, something or, I don't know.
There's a reason why you want to have it done.
There's a reason why you want to have it done. But yeah, it was an experience. It was a very positive experience for me.
Yeah, you broke even on one's grade and then you got a 9.8 on the other.
Yes, and
so that's a win, man.
I'm waiting to see the 2 that I have out, and I actually have 2 other ones that I want to send out. Well, maybe I might.
Send one of those. Okay.
Something in here. I don't know. Maybe one of the ones in here. But I was thinking I have 2 of them out right now, and then I had like 2, maybe 3 other ones that I would want to send out.
Now, what do you think about... All right, so we know that you got a lot of experience now with all the sales and stuff and going to different shops. What do you think about going to these different shops? You have a favorite and not favorite and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's some that I like, that I do like more than others. I like to support... I will always support the local shops. And I will say that for anybody, support your local shops. But there's, I do like the one, I don't want to say.
You can say their first name if you want. Oh, the Kens.
Yeah, the Kens.
The Kens, you like that one? Well, that one's a big one. That's the one in the city.
Yeah, I do like that one only because, well, I guess the other ones do too, but they work with you. You have that from going down, talking to them all the time.
So you have good. Well, we have a good rapport with most of these retailers.
We do.
But they're really good guys.
They're really good guys, and I don't know. I just get a good vibe when I walk in the place. Not that the other places aren't. The other places are nice too, but. For whatever reason, I like that place. So
as a new comic book collector, what do you look for in a comic book shop? Like, are you looking for like...
Well, it would depend on what you yourself are looking... I think everybody's going to have their own different thing of what they're looking for. Whether, some people are just looking for the high grade, comics, they in one store might have more of or a better, they might have more or a better selection of those items, and not another store might not.
So we go to shops that have a shit ton of key issues on the wall. Then we have one that has none and just has all new comics.
Yeah.
And even their back issues is their old new comics.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, it depends on just what you're looking for.
Yeah. So it depends on your mood, kind of?
Because I'm not always, there are some times where I'm thinking, maybe I have a little bit of extra cash, and I'm going to be like, well, I want to get, like you always say, I want to get like a nice key issue. Mm-hmm. So, if you want to get a nice key issue, then I would go to that place where I know they have more of those. If it's just... if it's an off week where I just want to look through a dollar bin,
you got $10, you want to buy 10 books.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'm gonna hit up the other place where I know they have a ton of boxes, and I can.
But then you end up spending $20.
Yeah, well, yeah, sometimes you do. That's the problem, though. I always end up with way more than I always end up with like this huge pile of books, and then I'm like, oh God. Like, oh,
It's weird though. Sometimes you need a fix. Like it's like you need a fix to go through a dollar. I just need to dig through a dollar bin, man. I can't take it anymore.
It's which goes back to that addiction thing, because I'm telling you, like, it's like, I don't know what it is, that feeling you get when you're looking through that box, and when you find, you're going through that box and you find like one book. Sometimes is all it takes. You find that one book and it's like, yes.
Especially when it's a spec book. Like, remember when they said the Dark Avengers jumped up, they spiked, and I was like, I know there's one in that. I remember seeing one, and then we went and dug, and I found it. But and with that, there's so many the books there, and I found that some bitch. Yes. And that's it's a thrill of the hunt.
It is, and you know what? And when you find that book, it's like yes, and it's just that. And you do. It's like you get a rush, when you find that book. But yeah, sometimes I don't know. Like I said, it all depends on what you feel like, what you're looking for. Sometimes you just want to dig through those dollar boxes, and then there's other times where you're thinking, man, see what, you maybe might want to get like a really cool key issue or something. It just depends on.
So, as a new comic collector, what do you think the best part of comic collecting is?
Best part. The best part for me is actually getting out there and looking through looking through those boxes.
That hunt.
Yeah.
That hunt. Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, you can go to some shops and they will already have like a high grade or a mid-grade or whatever. They'll already have it out on the wall. Okay, priced however, whatever they want to price it as, it's already on the wall. But going through those boxes and finding one yourself
for a buck,
or $2, however much, whatever it is. I mean, that
sometimes
to me,
being a bit better one than the one on the wall.
Yeah, that to me is like more rewarding than just going up and saying, oh, I'll take that one. It's like finding it yourself is so exciting.
I know on the way back from the con we talked about like it's crazy to be a collector and not go through the dollar boxes, man, going through the bargain bins, because if you don't do that, you cannot afford that. I don't care who you are, unless you're Jeff Bezos. You cannot afford to have a nice collection, because you're going to be buying those key issues off the wall, 60, 80, 120. You know what I mean? But if you're going through them dollar bins, I guarantee you will find gold, man.
You can find some gold in those dollar boxes. You can.
There's gold in them there boxes.
And I'm telling you, that's it for me. Like, the best part of it for me is actually getting in there and looking through those boxes, and just the excitement of when you pull that book out and you're like, yes, that that is it, and you find it. It's a good feeling when you find a book like that in there.
No, I know you said that Spider-Man was intimidating for you because there's so many books. Now, I remember talking to you one time and saying that Amazing Spider-Man, if you want like the key issues and stuff, that's probably the best one, because that's a flagship title that they always had, was Amazing Spider-Man. That was the original Spider-Man. Well, I shouldn't say original, because there was Amazing Fantasy 1 issue, and then after that was Amazing Spider-Man. Okay. But yeah. Let me ask you this, because I see this is a big thing for the companies, and this is why they do reboots a lot. Okay. And as a new collector, do you think having a #1 issue will influence you to collect something more than just picking up from whatever number it is, or does it matter?
No, for me it doesn't matter. No. I mean, it's nice. It would be nice to have, because I do have some of the some #1 issues, but I don't think it would influence me to keep going.
To start a collection or whatever.
Yeah. Unless it was something that I, like the Guardians or whatever, unless it was something that I was really, really interested in and really liked, that, I thought I could do it, depending on how many issues in that there were. But just to have that, I don't think it would make me, no.
more likely to buy.
No.
I know, for me as an old school guy,
Mm-hmm.
like I just wish they would just use the same numbering system they always did instead of rebooting and having volume 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the legacy numbers that we were seeing are kind of cool, I guess. But to me, it's so confusing to have volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because now I want to read a story, so I buy issues 1, 2, 3, and there's a 4. But wait, 4 is from volume 7, and
Yeah.
3 is from volume
Yeah.
2, and then I'm like, no,
Because-
I don't have the fucking story, so how am I going to read it? Where if you would just go in the numerical
Yes.
system, it would alleviate
Yes.
that whole problem. And then just rebooting stuff, I don't know, man. It just drives me crazy. I never understood it, and I know they claim that it does. It probably does. People will buy it because it's the number one.
Yeah.
But then the sales drop dramatically. So it seems to me that it's just a waste. Like it's just a hype machine to make a quick buck to get that first issue out. And for the collectors, to me, it's stupid. To be honest, I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Well, yeah.
Like I understand some characters you can't have an ongoing series because they're just not. It
Well,
doesn't
yeah.
work like that, but for like Spider-Man to have 7 volumes or whatever it is, 5 volumes
Yeah,
of
like-
Amazing Spider-Man, you only need 1 volume of
Yes.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. See, that's why I said, like, I've always loved Spider-Man ever since I was a kid, but there are so many different ones that it's like, you know, which one do you choose? And like, you know, it's like, you know, maybe I might like this one, and then like, you know, then there's that one, and I'm like, there's so many different ones, and I'm like, there's so many. There's just too many. I don't know.
I know, let me ask you about this as a new collector, because I know we did it for a little bit. We were chasing down variants, and I still do buy a variant here and there or whatever, but I said I was going to ease off because I'd rather spend the money towards a nice key issue.
Yes.
But what do you think of all the variants in general? Like, do you like collecting them? Do you think it's worth having all these variants, or do you wish they didn't do it? Or
I'm not gonna say it's not that I don't wish. It's not that I don't want them to do it, but they are cool. They are very cool. I will say that. And I was getting sucked in with Venom, with some of the variants and things, and I just got to the point where, like I said, you know what, you start buying, the whole, like, you know, the story, and then, you know, there's like this variant, that variant, you know, and I just don't know that I want, even though, like I said, the covers are cool, I just don't know that I want like 3-4 different variants of, you know, it's the same thing. I don't know. I've actually stopped for the most part, buying the variants, unless I need like that one the one Venom that I noticed I was missing.
you got that X-Men cover. That was going to be my next question.
Yes.
What do you think of those unrelated variants that they're doing, where it's like a theme every month, where this past month was all X-Men covers? So like, let's say you have, well, Venom's a good example. Venom,
Yeah.
there's no Venom on the cover, but it's an
Right, but-
all X-Men.
Yeah,
And they did
and
that with
it's-
every title. What do you think of those? I know you like the artwork all
I
that.
do. Yeah, I do like the artwork. I think.
But if you take the word Venom
you
off there, it
take-
doesn't look like a Venom book. It's not a Venom
does
book.
not look. It does not look like a Venom book. And I don't understand. I mean, me as a new collector, I guess I don't understand really why they do that. The you know, the X-Men with the, you know, put it on there like that. The difference. Like, if it's a Venom, I'm going to expect a Venom.
Right. Even if Venom isn't on a cover, something related to the story.
Something
going on,
related, yes. I actually bought that one because it was the only one he had.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have had the other one, I probably would have bought the other one.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of, I don't know, like, I'm torn between that, because they're cool, but I feel they should, when they do that, they should, if they're going to do that with, like, say they put the X-Men on it, but then they should also they should tie in something, like, I feel like they should always tie in something to the actual comic book, like, you know, like the storyline, the Venom or something, and not just have something like totally different on there. Because if somebody didn't know, they would think they probably think, I mean, I know Venom is on it, but, you know, they see that and they might think, oh, X-Men.
Right, right.
You know? I mean, not that I'm
Or if they buy it, they
Yeah.
expect the X-Men to be in it or
or
whatever.
in it or something. They might expect that. Yeah, like they might expect them to be in it. Like I think it. I don't want to say that it does. I don't want to use the word mislead, but I don't know. Like I'm not totally opposed to it, but I just think that they should maybe like tie something else in. Like that's related, you know, to the actual story. It's like from the actual book that they're doing.
So aside from having all these different volumes and stuff like that, what's the most intimidating thing about comic collecting? Let's take Amazing Spider-Man volumes and handling the comics. What's the most intimidating thing?
I would say the most intimidating thing to me about like say Spider-Man would be since I'm new and I don't have a lot of issues and things like that yet. Just that it would just have so many issues that I would feel intimidated to think that I may never complete.
Right.
As far as handling them, I don't know that I'm really intimidated, like as far as handling them. I've learned to be careful. I mean, because like you've shown me that it's like how to do that. It's just like I said. Sometimes with the higher grade books that I have, I haven't read any of them yet because I'm still you know. I'm using some of the other books that I got, the lower grade books, you know, the reader books. I'm reading those first, and you know, when I get the process down, you know, because I don't want to bend pages or you know make any. I'm very careful that I don't, you know, when I read that I just don't, you know, I hold the spine and I, you know, flip it just right and you know make no marks. You know, I wash my hands, things like that. But yeah, I just, you know, I think I really actually am still intimidated with the higher grade books.
Now, I just want to point out, I'm sure you're going to agree, but Todd and I were talking in his video that how nice it is to have a group of people going through these boxes because there's so much ground to cover when you're digging through these boxes and stuff.
Yes.
Or even just looking at a wall of key issues. And so to have somebody go, hey, you know, like you go to, hey, Dave, there's a Swamp Thing, or hey, do you have this one, or whatever, you know, and I'll be like, Janine, there's spawns in that box right there.
Yes.
Isn't that nice?
That helps out a lot because, you know, sometimes you miss the stuff, you know, like, or, you know, you can cover more ground that way. Like you said, you know, somebody, you know, be over here, whatever, and you know what you communicate. And you know what everyone else is looking for, what their interests are, what they collect, and you help them out. You know, even other people there. You know, just you know people that you meet. You know, you see what you know maybe. Like
we're gonna bullshit with somebody else that's over there, and hey, remember me?
Yes.
Hey, can you keep out for Swamp Things? What are you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for old Transformers books. You know.
You know, and you help each other out, and you know you'll find more that way. Because they'll find what you like and you can help them out and find what they like and what they want to collect. So it's a win for everybody.
So speaking of that, is there any positive or negative experiences you had with people in the comic shop that stand out to you? Or
not like in the warehouse sale. You know, I was just, you know, it just bugged me that like the comic shops we go to, there never seems to be any issues, you know. Everybody's always so nice and everything, you know. But we went to, I think it was the warehouse sale, and there was a couple guys that, you know, like I was trying to look through this box, you know, and they're just like, I think I had mentioned it, like, you know, they're going through these boxes and they're just like flipping through real fast, you know, like, and it was the way they were handling the comics too. Like I wanted to look at them and say, you know, just tell them to stop,
dude.
Stop, dude, stop. Because they were just going through so fast, and like, you know, they were obviously only looking for certain ones, but it was like I just want to look at them and say, you know, if you're a collector and you're here,
why are you beating the shit out of these comics?
Yes. Why are you doing that to them? Like, they were literally just like beating the hell out of them, you know. And that bothered me.
I know. I think we talked about in one of the old videos or whatever where I said about going to these retailers and like you'll see the dollar bin will be like just jam packed, and I won't pull some out and just leave them laying on top, because I am not going to destroy those comics, man. You know, it's their stuff. If they want to destroy it, then that's on them or whatever. But yeah, I don't like to see these comics get fucked up. And so I know what you mean. I saw those guys doing that too. That was one guy in particular was just going.
Yes.
And
that bugged me. It really did. It bugged me. I wanted to say something to it, but I didn't want to. You know.
Now I'm gonna buy it, and it was a 9.8. Now it's a 9, and I know I'm getting it for $1, but I could have had a nicer copy. Thanks, guy.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
What about? I know one. I'm thinking of one other time in particular too. I remember you got agitated, and it was at the place you said was your favorite. And it was the guy was just running around pulling stuff out real fast, had a big stack, and his wife was standing there staring at him, looked like she wanted to die. She wanted to kill herself.
Yes. Yeah, that did bug me. There was this guy there. We were at the one shop, and it had to have been a stack this high on the countertop. And he was looking, he had his phone, obviously, going through his phone, and he was looking for books. And like you said, his wife was she was actually standing by the stack of books, like guarding them.
But she was giving him the stink face the whole time, just
She was, because she looked like she did not want to be there at all. She was so mad, like, I don't want to be here. And he took a book out of the drawer, and he put it on the POW. And she looked at him and she goes, "What's that?" And he goes, "I don't know. He said it's a first appearance. It's a first appearance of somebody." And it just that made me so mad, because I'm thinking, you jerk, you are just there going through all those books on your thing, trying to find them so that you. I mean, he obviously was not a collector. He didn't know anything. Like I would be willing to bet that I probably knew more about some of the books than him. You know, he was just going by what he was finding online, like if it was a first appearance or key issue or whatever it was, and probably most likely only to resell them online, because he didn't even know what he was putting on that pile. I remember it was only like a week before that or something, we had a conversation, because I was talking to Ken and he said the same thing. We were talking about how people, I think I'm going to use Ken's words. He said they buy them not because they love comics, but because they can make money off them. Yes.
And we talked about it, and I was like, you know, sometimes I do that. I buy these spec books and I'll flip them, but I reinvest it, and it's to help further my collection. So I'm spending it on spending the money on comics. Yeah, it's just to support my habit. So it's not a bad thing necessarily to flip them. I mean, they're going to change hands and somebody's going to be making money off. But when you're just doing that and screwing over, driving prices up and hoarding everything. And because
he was literally grabbing them all. Like if there was 4 copies, he took all 4. If there was, 5, whatever there was, he took them all so that no one else could, could get any. And that really did bother me.
Anything else you can think of to talk about in here about comic stuff?
I can't.
That you learned as a new collector? Nothing much?
No, I can't think of anything else.
Let's see how much time we got on this.
How much time we got?
Well, I'm at 20% here, so we're 38 minutes. Should I pause it? Well, yeah. You know what we'll do? We'll nerdcore out this one.
Okay.
And then we'll do the mini con haul.
Okay.
So we're going to nerdcore out it. Nerdcore out.